Hello and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmer, and this is a very special ranking video for me today because I am ranking all 13 films within the Halloween franchise, which is my favorite franchise of all time. Tim, you've heard me talk about it ad nauseum.
That is true. No, but I'm very happy for you, and I think you'll do a fantastic job today.
Thank you. I have been waiting to do this since we started doing ranking videos because I wanted it to come out closer to Halloween. But trust me, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm finally doing it. I just want to caveat this with, this is my favorite franchise, so I still basically enjoy every Halloween film, but there are definitely ones that I like better than others, and ones that I think are stronger than others. But all in all, I will sit down and watch any Halloween film anytime. Another thing I wanted to say about this ranking is that I'm judging these each as standalone films. So not like the first of a trilogy or the last in this timeline. I'm just looking at each film individually, okay?
So you've seen all of them?
I've seen all of them, but it's not about the series. Okay, we ready, Tim?
I'm ready.
Okay, number 13. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. Now, look, I rewatched this recently, hoping that I would like it more than I have in the past, and unfortunately, I did not. I will say, from a positive note, I do appreciate the storytelling in this one, but geez, it is so dark. It's just not fun to watch. Laurie is so consumed by trauma that she's become incredibly unlikable and is awful to everyone. Dr. Loomis has become this like money-hungry, unlikable fame whore guy. Michael barely has a mask on. He's just walking around with like a hood. The whole ghost of the dead mother and the white horse is just too supernatural for a Halloween slasher film. Also, the kills are mostly stabbings, but they're so uncomfortably brutal. It's just over and over and over. And also a lot of the dialogue is, look, I love being dirty and cussing and stuff, but it's some of like the dirtiest, filthiest stuff all the time. And coming from me, that's crazy. And lastly about this film, the ending is just so depressing. Spoiler alert. Laurie gets shot and then she ends up in a mental institution. So it's like it leaves you just feeling defeated. And I think that's why this is my least favorite Halloween film.
I could not agree more. That movie's a mess, 100%.
I love that. Oh, I really wanted to like it more, but it is so dark. Anyway, number 12. Halloween Resurrection. Okay, so of course any Halloween film that has Jamie Lee Curtis in it for me is going to be like a cut above. Unfortunately, they retcon that beautiful ending of H2O and they kill Laurie off at the beginning, which is just so disappointing. Like, are you supposed to watch that and then be like, oh my God, I'm so excited for the rest of the movie? Like, no, it's such a letdown. And then it shifts to a completely different movie that has the reality TV show twist on Halloween. I think it's the tone that just doesn't work for me. It becomes sort of like ridiculous and comedic, Busta Rhymes and everything. I will say I do kind of like the final girl character, Sarah, played by Bianca Kajlik, because but this movie just feels so removed from the franchise. And I do like Jen's decapitation scene. It's one of my favorite kills. So there are small aspects of this movie I enjoy, but overall it just feels so like wonky and on a different plane than the rest of the series.
Agree with you 100%, but I miss Tyra Banks.
Do you? Does she make it for you? Yeah. Do you mean Dancing with the Coffee?
Dancing with Coffee. I'm surprised it's not your number one.
And you know, how about we don't even get to see her death? She's just like dead.
Yeah. I mean, she's on the poster, and I thought, oh, Tyra Banks is gonna be a final girl, and then she just has a Dancing with Coffee, and that's it.
And that's it. And then she's dead. Okay, number 11. Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. Okay, let me just start by saying this. Yes, including the backstory of Michael's fucked up family and making him more sympathetic as a kid is not something that I don't think I ever needed in this franchise. But I will give credit to Rob Zombie for at least making that different from the original Halloween. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. I didn't need all that backstory, but at least it's different. Unfortunately, this movie suffers from a lot of the same things that the second movie suffers from. Unnecessarily brutal kills, too much just really trashy dialogue, a lot of unlikable characters. But I did appreciate, and why I like this movie better than part 2 is some of the meetings between Dr. Loomis and Michael in the sanitarium I found interesting because I always wondered what was at that time like. I actually liked his mom in this movie, hated her in the second one. It was unnecessary. She was dead. But I liked her in the first movie. And obviously, because I love the original film, I loved seeing the recreated scenes at the end in the last act. But unfortunately, all the chase scenes with Laurie, she is screaming so much and being hunted down so much that it gets to be like overkill.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. I would have switched that. I would have made like Rob Zombie.
Oh, the last two.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Resurrection because you know it has something.
Because it has Tyra.
It has Tyra. But you're right about that screaming. That screaming is a buggin'.
It's just like I like her portrayal of Laurie up until the end because it's just so much screaming.
It's atmospheric though. It has a good Halloween look.
Yes, exactly. And it uses the mask well, and it has a good score, unlike the second one where he barely has the mask on. Anyway, okay. Number 10. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, look, perhaps if this didn't follow Halloween 4, one of my favorite sequels, I wouldn't have ranked it so low. But considering it serves as a follow-up to a great sequel and it kind of messes up a lot of the stuff I loved about Part 4, that's why it's number 10 on my ranking. First off, having Jamie not being able to speak for the first half was just annoying. Dr. Loomis is so overly angry at everyone, it feels a little out of character for him. But my biggest complaint with this movie is that, spoiler alert, the worst part is killing off Rachel, who was one of the best characters in the franchise at the beginning. I look, as I used to find Tina, the character, really annoying, but over the years, I've come to actually appreciate her more, especially since we talked with Wendy Kaplan. But it still, for the life of me, confuses me as to why Rachel didn't play that role in the film and be a part of the movie for longer, and Tina wasn't like a side character who died earlier. I just don't understand the thinking. I also found the Men in Black scene so random. They didn't explain anything till part 6, and it was just felt like a weird random element they threw in and didn't really think about. So it just, unfortunately, following up 4, it just kind of was a little bit of a letdown. But again, there are still aspects I like in it. I like that at least they do have Rachel and Jamie in it. They just don't use them well.
No, I think it has some things going for it. Like, I like the barn stuff. I like that Michael drives after Tina. It has that. And plus, but you're right. That beginning where where Daniel Harris doesn't talk.
Also, oh my God, I didn't even mention as Tim, the cops and that.
Well, wasn't the director like from France? So there was a disconnect in like horror in 1989.
Yeah. It was a very weird comedic aspect. Every time the cops showed up, they played this like cartoon music. Very weird. Anyway, okay. Number 9 is Halloween Ends. Now, I am gonna upset a lot of people who love this movie, but unfortunately for me, this is my least favorite of the Blumhouse trilogy. With that said, and I know I say that a lot, but I do understand why people enjoy this film. Starting with the positive, I love the opening scene. It's shocking. It's memorable. I love having Laurie Strode in it and seeing more of her life. And of course, I love the battle at the end between her and Michael. It was pretty epic. And also the way they disposed of his body at the end, it was just so like final and good for a final movie in the franchise. But everything else, God, it wasn't what I wanted from the concluding chapter of this trilogy. Look, as a character study of evil in people, sure, it's interesting as a standalone movie. And I know I said I was looking at these movies as standalone films, but it's hard when it's called Halloween Ends. And it literally is the final movie. And the marketing was all about the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael. Laurie takes a backseat, Michael takes a backseat, and the focus is Corey Cunningham, this character who we haven't known throughout 12 movies. So it just felt like it was a miss in that respect. But again, like there are certain aspects I like, and that final battle was great. It just felt a little tacked on, like it was almost like, oh shit, we got to give him that final battle. Let's put it in here. And they even underused Lindsay Wallace. She's just kind of on the sideline. So it was just weird for me. It was all Corey Cunningham.
I wanted that movie to be Kyle Richards and Jamie Lee Curtis and Andy Matichak. Did I say that right?
Fighting Michael,
all
right?
All three of those women fighting. But, I thought Corey Cunningham was like a fresh piece of gum.
So wait. So sweet for a while and then got stale really quickly.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. But that would be a great movie. The three women together fighting Michael, but like there was barely a Michael to fight. You know,
he was
so
tired.
weird.
He was sitting it out in a cave
in the sewer.
Yeah,
sewer.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Number 8. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, when I first saw this film, I wasn't a fan, but I've come to appreciate it more over the years. It has slowly gone up my ranking. It's still in the middle, but look, just like in Resurrection, obviously I didn't love killing off Jamie at the beginning of this one. It was kind of a letdown, especially it not being Danielle Harris. But unlike Resurrection, at least it transitioned into a film that felt like a Halloween movie. It had the Strode family. It had the Haddonfield seasonal vibes. It had a likable final girl. And Kara Strode, played by Marianne Hagen, brought back Tommy Doyle and Dr. Loomis. So Resurrection felt like a complete departure. This felt like a Halloween film. Obviously, it has its flaws, way too much explanation of the cult and the backstory, and that final act in the sanitarium wasn't my favorite. I would have preferred if they just kept it in Haddonfield, but I will say it was a valid attempt to provide at least some backstory to Michael without giving us like a Rob Zombie type of movie filled with this horrifying family life.
No, I saw this movie as in high school, so I was so excited. So I think it has a really good score. It has Paul Rudd. I love Marianne Hagen. The ending, like you said, is a mess, but I think it really, the first hour, I love the look of this film, so I love it.
It is. I mean, it feels like a Halloween film, and this is why I slowly have come to appreciate it more and more. I don't love all the cult stuff, and that is a big part of the movie, but all of the kills in the house, like of the mom and the dad and the girlfriend and the brother and the girlfriend and running between the houses was great. I love that back and forth. It felt like, remember when they went between the Doyle and the Wallace house, the original. So there were a lot of aspects that I really liked, but unfortunately some that I didn't. Okay, number 7 is Halloween Kills. Now, look, as cringe as so much of the dialogue is in this film, especially all the evil dies tonight chants and even some lines JLC says, and as much as I do feel like this film pales in comparison to Halloween 2018, for the most part, I've actually come to enjoy it a lot in terms of rewatchability. Like if you say we're going to put on Halloween Kills, I'm actually excited about it. I both love that they brought back so many characters from the original film for Halloween Kills and hate that they literally wasted some of them by killing them off so quickly. Like, it's just not what I think fans of the original wanted to see from reviving these characters and then getting rid of them so quickly. So I'm really confused as to why David Gordon Green thought to do that. Lindsay Wallace, however, gets a great scene, probably the best scene in the movie, between her and Marion and the couple and her fighting, and she survives, so it's great. Michael's killing spree, it's a bit too Terminator-ish. It's like he's just going from kill to kill and he's unstoppable, but at least it's Michael going through Haddonfield killing people, which is kind of the point of Halloween. Look, after rewatching it a bunch, I don't even mind the Little John, Big John stuff. When I first saw this movie, I thought it was so annoying, but now I kind of laugh of it. I just wish that, I guess, David Gordon Green had been less concerned with putting social commentary in these films and just more concerned with making like 3 really solid Halloween films. Because I felt like on Kills and Ends, he was like, I want to have a moral and I want to say something about society, and that takes precedent over everything else.
That opening where they had like a fake Donald Pleasance.
Oh, the flashback scenes. Yes,
yeah,
great.
The flashback scenes for that movie was really, really strong.
Great.
I almost wish they would have just stayed in that time period.
So done like 1978 part 2. Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting, and I definitely wanted more Kyle Richards. But it's a silly movie, but like you said, I could sit down and watch that anytime.
Yeah, and it's a fun movie, and I totally forgot the flashbacks are some of the strongest scenes, and they really did capture the 1978 vibes, which was awesome.
And that guy's super cute. Side note, but I will say the gay couple, it's too long.
Little John, Big John, Little John, Big John. Yeah.
Wasn't a fan, but I like the McDonald.
But
guy.
I love when he tells the kids that Michael Myers stabbed his sister in the tits. That always makes me laugh. Okay, number 6. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Now, ranking this number 6 may be surprising to some people because it is the only film in the series that does not have Michael Myers. And I will say that when I was younger, I used to dismiss this movie completely because I didn't feel like it belonged in the franchise, and I was just, like, oh, you don't have Michael Myers, this isn't a Halloween film. But when I finally got over that and gave it a chance, I realized, like, not only does it feel like it does exist in this world because the score is John Carpenter, the dark and gritty feel, all the Halloween seasonal stuff, but it's actually a really fun watch. And even though it's based on supernatural occurrences, the plot is simple. It's not over the top. It's just a mask making factory that's trying to kill a bunch of kids on Halloween through their masks. And as messed up and disturbing as that plot line is, it makes for a good movie. Like, the robots are scary, and spoiler alert, the ending is really cool with Stacey Nelkin, then the twist, her being a robot. It's a fun twist, and I just think it actually would have been more successful of a movie if it wasn't billed as the third Halloween film. If it was just called Season of the Witch and was a separate film, not in the Halloween franchise, but still about Halloween, I think it would have done really well. So I've really grown to like this film a lot more over the years.
I love this film, and mainly because of the score. It really keeps the movie going, and I love that it's Stacey Nelkin's head at the end is just like, I thought that was really funny.
And her hand never stops moving. Like, he keeps defeating. It's like Terminator. Like, the hand keeps coming after. It's great.
So it does have its moments.
Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to the top 5, and I'm going to be honest here. It was really tough for me to distinguish between parts number 2 through 5. These next 4 were so neck and neck in my rankings, they could switch anytime. But right now, I'm putting at number 5, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, part 4, look, it had a really tough job to do. It had to continue a 10-year-old storyline without its final girl because Jamie Lee Curtis was out. But it did it so well. It kept the family connection. It introduces Laurie's niece. It brought back Dr. Loomis. It gave us this wonderful sibling connection between Rachel and Jamie. But most of all, it really felt like a Halloween film. It really felt like it was in Haddonfield. They had the whole similar plot line to the first one. Michael escapes. He goes to Haddonfield. He hunts after his main victim. He kills everyone off one by one. And there's so many creepy scenes, like from Jamie's nightmares at the beginning to Michael appearing in the shadows in that house they're locked in. It's just great. And the epic final confrontation in the car between Rachel and Jamie and Michael is just really memorable. And then, spoiler alert, although I wouldn't have wanted Jamie to become the next killer, that ending, leaving us on a cliffhanger with her acting like 6-year-old Michael Myers, was really awesome. The series had never done that, and it leaves you like, oh my God, it's just an epic ending. So it's just one of the best sequels, and I love revisiting it every time.
Ellie Cornell and Danielle Harris is the reason I love this movie. It is such a strong connection between the two girls.
Yeah.
So I like a good choice, Matt.
How about Cops Do It by the Book? I love Kelly Maker.
Rachel.
Wise up to what men want, Rachel, or Brady's not going to be the last man you lose to another woman.
Here, have some coffee.
I know, it's great. Love it. Okay. Number 4, Halloween 2, as in the original Halloween 2 from 1981. So, no, I don't feel like Halloween 2 is as strong as the original film, but I truly feel like it feels like a continuation of that film. Same camera angle, same tone, same feel. I often like to watch this right after the original as like a 2-part movie because they fit together so well. What I love about this movie is it creates this incredible sense of dread all throughout that hospital. It's dark, it's scary. Michael's hunting down and killing off the nurses one by one. It's got some great kills. It gives Laurie an incredible chase scene at the end. I think even longer than her chase in the first movie. And this is the film that introduced the sibling relationship between Laurie and Michael, which I actually love in this timeline. I mean, it made sense to me, and it gave Michael just enough motive to keep going after Laurie without like over-explaining things. So I think this is just a really great sequel that really feels like the original film.
I agree. I always agree. No, I think the best part is her wig.
Jamie Lee Curtis. That is true. Because they filmed this like 3 years after the original, her hair was like a lot shorter, so they had to give her a wig, and it's pretty obvious.
And who shows his butt?
Leo Rossi.
Good job.
Yeah. It's a nice butt. Okay. Getting to the top 3. Number 3 is Halloween H2O 20 years later. Now, look, I was so excited when I first heard this film was coming out. It was the first time they were bringing back Jamie Lee Curtis, and I was like, oh my God, she's back, Laurie Strode, and it did not disappoint. Now, yes, it does feel like a late 90s post-Scream era slasher, but that's not a bad thing. That's what every slasher movie was doing at that time. First off, I love the opening scene with the nurse. I loved Michael finding Laurie's file and just the whole setup of her, going into hiding and changing her name. It was such like I could see that witness protection program. It was a fun little aspect, and the nurse was a great nod to the original. And I also loved seeing how Laurie was dealing with what happened to her 20 years ago, because at that time, there was no legacy sequel. We never got to see what Final Girls or survivors were doing years after these traumatic events. The chase scene with John and Molly that ends with them at the fence and then Laurie being face to face across the door with Michael is one of my favorite, if not my favorite sequence in the entire franchise. It always gives me the chills. And spoiler alert, but most people know this, what a satisfying ending for Laurie, after finally having the guts to go after Michael, beheading him. It's just so satisfying. I remember the audience clapping, and I try to ignore Resurrection as a sequel to this one and have this one be like the end of that timeline, because it is just a great ending to Laurie's arc in this timeline.
It is so bizarre. From, part 6 to 7, it's only 3 years, but it feels like a good, I feel like cinema changed.
Because Scream had come out.
That's what I'm saying. It feels very Scream. And this movie really moves.
Yeah.
Like from start to finish.
It might be the shortest.
Solid film.
It's a very short film. It runs quickly. I think it's like an hour 29 minutes or an hour 30
That's
at
my
most.
kind of film.
I know. Okay. Number 2 is Halloween 2018. Now, look, there are a lot of people that don't like this film, and I respect your opinions. For me, I've gone back and forth between this and Halloween H2O as being my number 2, number 3, number 2, number 3, and I didn't know, but I think I like 2018 a tiny bit more. And the reason is I just absolutely love Jamie Lee Curtis's performance as Laurie in this film. For me, it feels more like Laurie Strode than it did in H2O, because she seems so sad and broken, and I feel like I could see someone who had such a traumatizing event happen, they lost their friends, almost died, who never got help, really becoming that shell of a person. And Jamie Lee Curtis' portrayal, it almost brought me to tears at different times in this movie because she's just so sad. I also love how they spend so much time leading up to Halloween night in this film. I love a good build. We get a lot of character development. We get a background on Laurie, and she's been struggling. We get the introduction to the 3 generations of Strode women, which I thought was really empowering and great. And as annoying as they are, even the podcaster intro was okay, because at least it set up the fascination with this story. It's been going on for 40 years. I love Laurie's compound and how she's been preparing to take on Michael for so long, versus in H2O was kind of like a split decision where she was like, okay, I'm going to go after him. And then the final confrontation with Laurie in 2018 and with all the mannequins, it's really suspenseful, not to mention the whole switch when she falls over the roof and then disappears like Michael did in the first one. And then, spoiler alert, having the 3 Strode women being the ones to lock him in the basement and set it on fire was just another really strong, satisfying ending. I just truly think the reason I like 2018 as much as I do is because I do try to look at it as a standalone entry versus the first of the Blumhouse trilogy, because for me, Kills and Ends kind of ruined a little bit of what was a beautiful story from beginning to end in 2018. And so that's why I like 2018. If I'm looking at the trilogy as a whole, maybe it wouldn't be as strong in my ranking.
Yeah, and Judy Greer in a Christmas sweater. I like that. And then when she goes gotcha.
Oh, yeah, when she's pretending to be all scared and with the shotgun. Yeah, so many scenes that people were clapping in the theater, I remember. It was just such an event. I love this film. I can watch it anytime. But nothing compares to my number 1, which, shocker for anyone who's ever watched or listened to this podcast, the original Halloween from 1978. It is way above every other film for me. Nothing compares to my love of this film. And look, from the music to the stalking scenes, to the overall sense of dread that builds ever so slowly and effectively, this movie creeps me out every time it comes on, every time I watch it, and I've watched it probably over 100 times. I'm never bored. I know some people think it's slow. I'm never bored. It's so simple, and I love that. There's not too much backstory. There's just enough with Dr. Loomis's monologues about Michael. There's not too many characters. There's just enough with Laurie and her friends. And no one is really that unlikable. I mean, yes, Annie and Linda kind of don't treat Laurie the best, but it's kind of like a friendship dynamic where you're poking fun at your friends. Like, you can tell they still love her. The shots of Michael appearing out of the darkness, like from behind Laurie in that final confrontation, the closet scene, they're just so chilling. It's just such a great, like, chef's kiss on filmmaking, you know? And the ending in which Michael disappears and all you see is shots of empty rooms that he was in while you're hearing him breathing. It's just so simple and effective. Like, for me, the original Halloween is a true horror masterpiece. And I don't know if any other Halloween film will ever beat this one for me.
Wow, totally.
I know. That's all. What do you think of the original Halloween, Tim?
I totally loved it. No, I like PJ Souls, you know, when she's like doing her nails. I think I was
See anything
scared.
you like?
But you know, I was always wondering, how did he get that huge gravestone up the stairs?
That's your big.
That's it.
Yeah. It's just, this movie has meant so much to me. It is shaped my life. The Shape.
He is the Shape.
It's why, look. Hey jerk, speed kills. It's just kind of why I love horror. I've been obsessed with it since I was a kid.
I wish you would talk about it more.
Well, look, thank you for everyone who stuck with this ranking till the very end. I know that was a lot, 13 films. Again, this is just my opinion. I respect everyone's opinions and really want to hear your opinions in the comments below. Let us know what your Halloween ranking is, what's your favorite, least favorite, all that. And hope everyone has an amazing Halloween. Watch some of the Halloween films, just maybe not Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Oof, I mean, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Great job, Matt.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Bye.